Hi, I'm Craig Roller from Sandfly Security, here today to tell you about Sandfly 5.5 with a powerful new feature that allows you to use our agentless Linux security platform and combine that with an artificial intelligence LLM of your choice to analyze security events and help your security teams better understand what's happening on your network when we detect something going on. Now, like a lot of people out there, we have seen some very dubious use cases of the LLM technology. Obviously, we've seen some really bad ideas out there, but we've also seen some pretty decent ones. Now, one of the things that differentiates the really bad ideas from the really decent ideas is the quality of the data being put in. Now, with Sandfly, we have an advantage because our product, we are in total and complete control of the data we collect off of a Linux host. We know where it's come from. We originated where it came from. We're not relying on third parties to pass it to us, and we know exactly what's going to be in there and why it's in that data. And what this means is in our testing of these LLM products, they've become very mature. And with the quality data that Sandfly passes into the LLMs, you can be sure that you could get a very, very good security analysis of what's going on. It can actually operate, I'd almost call it like a mid-tier security analyst in a lot of cases. And even for expert level users, you can ask it questions and get back very reasonable answers about what might be happening on those hosts. So the way I want to demonstrate this today is we have a single host on this system here that has been hit with the ever popular and our old friend BPF door. BPF door, for those who don't know, is a piece of malware that has been hitting a lot of critical infrastructure, especially telecommunications infrastructure. It is still in very active use today. There's actually new variants of it out now, but we have seen BPF door hanging around various networks now for years. So we're going to use this as our demonstration. And what we're going to do is we have our one host that has generated a series of alerts here, right here. And on this host here, we have a bunch of alerts from this one BPF door. Now we've activated the BPF door, so not only is it running memory resident, but we've actually connected to it with a shell to give us an extra burst of badness that's happening on the system. Now, the first thing to understand is we can go to our AI analysis tab on our victim host. So our victim host here is this is all the data we've collected about it. If I hit analyze now, it's going to pass it into an LLM of our choice. So what do I mean by that? Basically, we support various APIs from the vendors that are out there. So Google Gemini, OpenAI, XAI from using the Grok API, or we use the OpenAI API standard so you can tie it into whatever LLM you're running privately yourself if you don't want to pass it out to a third party. Now, this is a completely optional feature, but we think there's a lot of use in it. Now, what you see here is I'm using the Gemini backend for the current analysis. We passed in an analysis for this host. We said, hey, what's going on with this host? So we immediately get back some information here. It says critical security alerts indicating active bind shell backdoors active on the host. We give you information here laying out the overview of what's going on. Then we get details of the process that's happening. That's we think's malicious on that box. And in this case, we found a process here called KDMT flush. That box is a suspicious execution location on here. We see it. We see it has a deleted binary. It has network activity that's sniffing. It also has an established network port connection that's actively sniffing traffic as well. All very suspicious. We've detected in here as well anti-forensics. It lays out here exactly what we mean by that. That in this case here, we see an empty environment variable associated with a sniffing network activity. It's very, very odd to see there. Process masquerading has been detected, meaning we found this process is trying to hide. But essentially, the AI system gives you a total breakdown of everything happening here. It even identifies other child processes, such as here, the dash process running, why it's suspicious as well. And what's more importantly, because we get this question a lot, people say, what can I do about this, right? So aside from trying to automate a response, which a lot of people are not necessarily willing to do on Linux critical infrastructure, we do give them the ability inside the AI answer to run a series of non-destructive forensic investigation techniques that they can use on those systems. So in this case here, we talk about different things that you can run in terms of command line commands you can use to investigate that process. You could look at the file system, what we'd want to grab in that file system, looking at logs, and just general recommendations of things that we would do, but it can really guide a novice through a lot of these various things going on. We give you recommended actions as well, such as isolating the host, things that we would want to do. We also supply what we call suggested items to investigate. These might be things that are happening to the system that are not necessarily part of that alert, but stuff that you might want to go look at on that host if you're there anyway investigating the problem, such as things as like, why would this user log in? What else did this user run? Are there certain log files you should be looking at, and on and on and on. Now, this is the host level analysis, but the thing is, too, we also offer this at the result level analysis. What I mean is that we can actually find a various result here. So let's say, for instance, here, I picked this one. Exploit here, and this detection says basically there's a process here called dash with this command line here that looks odd. It's operating the parent pseudo terminal and master mode along with a packet sniffer. Okay, so this is our explanation along with the MITRE ATT&CK tags. But again, if we want more details just on this alert, I can again hit that Analyze Now button on it. It's going to take a few seconds for the AI engine to actually process that alert and see what's going on. But again, our forensic data is so good with the Linux side, and it's such a good original source that we pull over, that these systems provide a very, very accurate place that you could start to do your investigation. Again, depending on the model, most of them, I'd say much of a muchness, as we say in New Zealand, essentially that they're all operate about the same. As long as you use the big names that are out there, the Gemini, OpenAI or the Grok models, you get about the same answers from them. But again, for this particular one here, we're going to lay out high confidence alert indicating active root level backdoor. We have an overview of what's going on. We're describing again, okay, with suspicious name and process, it's operating root privileges, it's got some defense evasion in it. So we're laying out everything that's going on. Again, we lay out the child process. We see unusual command lines happening down here. And what's interesting again is we give you this process investigation and things like that. But also I can jump down here and I can actually ask questions. Is there anything else unusual about this process? And again, it's going to go ahead and it's going to use the data we passed in and build up an answer for you based uniquely on that process itself, using the other forensic data that's available that we pass into it. And you can dive down really, really deep technical questions here if you have questions about file descriptors, sockets that might be open, things that might be doing. So it's going to lay down all that information here. And again, we see down here, yes, there's several additional unusual aspects. It gives us here suspicious name and location, the defense evasion. It tells us here there's a null environment, meaning that the process has deleted itself. That is something else we detected as well in another alert, but it's again incorporated that data. And again, so you could dive really deep into it. So overall, the AI LLM is a really powerful new feature in Sandfly 5.5. We also incorporated new detections as well for various sniffing activity and things associated, not just with BPF door, but other processes in general that might be up to no good. But the AI side of it is a really powerful new addition. We recommend you check it out. This is available in all versions of Sandfly, including the Home User Edition, which is very affordably priced for you people who want to run it in a home lab. But of course, in the professional edition, if you're using one of these commercial providers or again, your own on-prem LLM, it's a very, very useful thing. I think that you're really going to find a lot of things with it that are going to be very, very helpful to your security operations center and your security teams in general. So I'm Craig Rowland from Sandfly Security. Thanks a lot for watching this overview about Sandfly 5.5. Check it out and let us know what you think. I appreciate your time today, and goodbye.